I am Jen Springett, and I'm the president of Cloverbelt Local Food Co-op and also the Northwest coordinator for local food and farm co-ops. So moving to Northwestern Ontario from Southern Ontario, it was definitely eye-opening for me to see how food access is very different from what I've grown up to be used to. So for instance, in Dryden, where we have about 8,000 people, so we're quite fortunate in comparison to some of the communities in Northwestern Ontario. We have 3 grocery stores, and the amount of the selection of organic produce is very minimal, very minimal. So you might have 6 bunches of bananas to choose from and some carrots and, a couple of things. So that was really different. The food prices are higher and the food just isn't as fresh. And then some of the communities that we service have it even more unfortunate in that they might only have a convenience store or a gas station where they can get some food. And so there may not be any produce at all or very minimal produce available in their community. So when they're accessing our service in those cases, it may actually be their only way to access fresh food in their community above and beyond their desire to also shop local. So Cloverbelt Local Food Co-op is a online farmers market. Customers can go online on the weekends, see what's available across the region, and pick up in their community the following, usually Tuesday or Wednesday after the order cycle closes. And then they'll get all of their goods together, which may be from producers in different communities. By creating a local food hub in Northwestern Ontario, we were able to realize a lot of other benefits that we didn't anticipate. So we were able to create more opportunities for customers to connect with farmers, and we were able to give consumers a way that they can really buy in and become member owners of an organization that supports local farming in Northwestern Ontario. And for a lot of customers, that feels a lot more empowering than simply visiting farmers markets, that they can play a role, they can volunteer, they can feel good about that ownership. I think that part of the reason why we wanted to create this online market was about economic development and employment opportunities. Not only is food access limited in some of the communities that we work with, but also job opportunities can be limited. And so for a lot of families, either getting involved in food production or some kind of product development can be a means of income, either part-time or full-time. So opening up those opportunities, especially for some of our isolated communities, has been really important, as well as the jobs that we create directly within the cooperative, and also on some farms that we're able to expand as a result of the food hub development. One of the challenges for sure has been dealing with transportation. As a registered veterinary technician, even though I did a lot of management work, transportation logistics is not something that I really was involved in, and it's particularly challenging in Northwestern Ontario. So starting to look at our options and realizing how few options there were and how expensive it is in Northwestern Ontario to ship goods. Realizing that when goods come from Southern Ontario, a lot of times companies that say that they service Ontario-wide, that actually only goes to Thunder Bay, and then you have to pay an additional third-party charge from Thunder Bay to anyone in our region. So all of that was very eye-opening and challenging. The funding that Cloverbelt received for leveraging local food purchases allowed us to hire coordinators across Northwestern Ontario so that we could really increase our presence and reach out to more communities. And so through part of that work, we developed a food charter. And so we actually went into these communities, and we didn't just go with the purpose of telling them about Cloverbelt and what we do. We actually went for their feedback to say, what is your vision for a food system in Northwestern Ontario? What do you think that it should look like? What are your priorities? So that could really help to give us information to shape our work. And also because we want to see policy development happening that supports more local food purchasing in Northwestern Ontario, and we wanted to start to create that vision. We were very pleased that Greenbelt Fund funded our project here in Northwestern Ontario and recognized us as a player in Ontario's food system. I think that we suffer some challenges that Southern Ontario producers don't necessarily suffer, and I think that it was great that Greenbelt was able to recognize that we do need some help up here so that we can have our own local regional food system, that we can have some independence, and by investing in our small scale producers, we can help them to grow and to build to a greater point where we do have some producers that are marketing food down in southern Ontario, and there could be more. And we also have a market for other Ontario products that we can be bringing here to Northwestern Ontario when we can build a food system and then find a way to connect all of the province, which is something that local food and farm co-ops is very interested in creating and seeing that development happen.